Have you ever wondered why we use a or an in English language and what difference it makes? These tiny words play a huge role in making our sentences clear and meaningful. They are called indefinite articles and are used before nouns. The choice between a and an is determined by the sound that follows it. A is used before words that begin with consonants, or vowels that have a consonant sound, like university or European. On the other hand, an is used before words that begin with vowels or a mute H. Examples include apple, egg, orange, elephant, and hour. These articles are used to introduce a noun and to denote that the noun is not specific. In other words, it could be any member of a group. So a and an are used to introduce a noun and to denote that the noun is not specific. It could be any member of a group. Now that we know what a and an are, let's delve into their usage rules. These little words might seem insignificant, but they play a key role in English grammar. They're like the unsung heroes of the English language, adding clarity and precision to our sentences. Let's start with the basic rule. We use a before words that begin with a consonant or a vowel with a consonant sound. For example, a book, a cat, a university. On the other hand, we use an before words that begin with a vowel or words beginning with a mute H. For instance, an apple, an hour, an elephant. Now let's move on to the use of a and an before singular countable nouns. We use them when referring to any member of a group. For example, a dog loves to play. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Here, we're not talking about a specific dog or apple, but any dog or apple. A and an are also used in expressions of quantity. For instance, a lot of, a dozen, a great deal of. They help specify the amount of something. Next up, we use a and an in exclamations before singular countable nouns. For example, what a beautiful day, such an amazing performance. Here, they add emphasis to the noun. In expressions of price, speed, ratio, etc., a and an are used to mean per. For instance, 5 pounds a kilo, 60 kilometers an hour. Now let's talk about when we don't use a and an. They are omitted before plural nouns. For instance, we say dogs, not a dogs. Also, they are omitted before uncountable nouns like milk, rice, information. Moving on, we don't use a and an before names of meals unless these are preceded by an adjective. For example, we say we have breakfast at 7, but he gave us a good meal. Now here's a fun fact. A can be placed before miss plus surname, for example, a Mr. Smith, which implies that Mr. Smith is a stranger to the speaker. Remember, the correct usage of a and an can make a huge difference in the meaning of your sentence. They might be small, but they are mighty. So don't underestimate the power of these two little letters. They can change cat into a cat and elephant into an elephant, adding depth and detail to our language. Did you know that a, an, and one are often used interchangeably, but they have different implications? This might seem surprising, but let's delve deeper into this topic to unravel the nuances of these two words. When we're counting or measuring things like time, distance, or weight, we often use an and one interchangeably. For example, we can say a pound of apples or 1 pound of apples. However, the meaning subtly changes with the choice of word. When we say 1 pound of apples, we're explicitly specifying that there's only 1 pound, not more. But when we say a pound of apples, we're not necessarily implying that there's only 1 pound. So while an and one can be used interchangeably in some contexts, one often implies that there's only one and not more, while an doesn't carry this implication. Let's look at another example to clarify this further. If we say a shotgun is no good, it implies that it's the wrong sort of thing. But if we say one shotgun is no good, it implies that we need 2 or 3 shotguns. Now let's talk about some special uses of one. One is often used with another or others to highlight differences. For instance, one boy wanted to read, another wanted to watch TV. Here, one is used to distinguish between the two boys and their preferences. One can also be used before time-related words like day, week, month, year, summer, winter, or the name of a day or month to denote a particular time when something happened. For example, one day he wanted his lunch early, another day he wanted it late. Here, one is used to specify particular days and the events that occurred on those days. So while an and one might seem similar, they do have distinct uses. Understanding these differences will help you use these words more accurately and make your English sound more fluent and natural. Let's quickly recap what we have learned about A and N. Remember, the form A is used before a word starting with a consonant or a vowel with a consonant sound, such as a book or a one-way street. On the other hand, an is used before words starting with a vowel or mute H, like an apple or an hour. Also, keep in mind that A and an are used before singular, countable nouns when mentioned for the first time. For example, I need a visa or he bought an ice cream. We also use A and an with certain numbers, such as 100 or a third. Don't forget the difference between A an and 1. While A an does not imply a specific quantity, 1 indicates a single unit or entity, and that's a wrap. Remember, practice makes perfect, so keep using A and an correctly in your sentences.